What's going on, guys? Will here, and today we're bringing you a brand new video, and it's a very anticipated video. It is of course a new episode of a Young Driver review. Now today we've got a very special guest on the channel. It is of course my friend Sam Toogood. We're going to be reviewing his VW Golf and seeing if it is a good car to get for a young driver. If you do enjoy the video, please remember to hit that like button and comment your thoughts down below. We'd be interested to know, do you like the VW Golf? How do you think it compares to the Audi? All of that good stuff down in the comments down below. Please remember to hit that subscribe button, that way you can stay tuned for future uploads, and remember to ding on that notification bell, and that way you'll get a notification every time I post so you won't miss a video. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video.
Keep all your game, highs and lows, highs and lows.
So now what Sam's going to go through is the steering wheel, because we do have a nice centre console there with all the steering wheel buttons and everything. So Sam, take it away. What do we have over here?
So before we go into the steering wheel, I would just want to clarify about the warning light. It's just because I don't have any washer fluid in the car at the moment, which is all it is. But moving on to the steering wheel. So on this side here, what you have is your cruise control settings. It comes with adaptive cruise control on the car, so you can set the distance between the car in front of you as well, which is a really cool feature. Adapt the speed as well, so you can knock it down to 50 miles an hour, up it to 70 miles an hour, and the car will register that. And as long as you're doing the gears, as this is a manual car, it will do the rest for you. On the other side, you've got a little button here for speech. So if I had the speech setting installed on the car, you would be able to speak with it. And what that would then do is you can connect it to your phone, and you can send messages via Siri to your text message contacts and whatnot. You then have your telephone settings. So if I click on that there, what this does is then brings up my recent calls. Here you have just your up and downs, as I just demonstrated, and then these ones here, so these are your forward and backwards for your music, and then your volume rocker over there as well. Going through the center console, so you can have a look at your vehicle stats. So it's telling me, as you know, to add washer fluid, how much fuel you've got left on the car. So you can see I've got 390 miles there. You can then look at your average consumption. So because at the moment with COVID and whatnot, I've been working from home for a long time, my average consumption is absolutely terrible, just because I'm not doing long distances. But in the past, when I've been doing distances, I've been able to get anywhere between sort of 50 and 60 miles per gallon. So you've also got in here, it tells you your oil temperature, also tells you a warning at, so if you're going over the speed limit, it does tell you what speed you're going at. You then got your driving data, so as you're driving along, it will tell you what speed you're currently driving at. So as we're currently parked in a car park, it is currently 0 miles per hour. Then gives you your average speed since the start of your journey. So since I've driven from work to this car park, we've been going sort of tail to tail with other cars. So my average speed is only 8 miles an hour, which is really exciting. You can then move across to your assist systems. You then got your navigation, so you can have your navigation on the center console as well. Your audio, so at the moment it's telling me I'm on BBC Radio 1 from DAB, and then you can go back to your vehicle stats as well. So that's what you can do whilst driving. It's not as high tech as probably what you'll find on the Audi or a BMW or a Mercedes, but for the price you pay for a Volkswagen Golf, it is really good value for money.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the pros. Now, I personally haven't owned this car or ever driven a Golf. So Sam, we're going to open the floor to you, and we're going to do your personal preferences. So from your experience in this car, do you want to just run through a couple of pros of what you think the Volkswagen Golf brings to the table, and then we'll discuss like cons and costs and things like that. So what are your like big hitters in terms of pros?
So big pros when it comes to this car, it's a diesel, so it's built for miles. And so what you'll find with this is your miles per gallon is incredible. You could probably get from a tank from probably Suffolk all the way to sort of Birmingham, Manchester way, and do some really, really good miles. And you're probably talking about 400, 450, maybe even 500 on long distance miles to a gallon, miles to a tank, which is really, really good. Also, how smooth the car drives. It's a really, really smooth car to drive. You've got your five gears on it, and going through gears is really nice and smooth as well. So it's a really, really nice driving experience. Yeah, the entertainment on it's really, really good as well. So you have sort of your Bluetooth, radio, DAB and whatnot, which is really, really good, and tends to come as standard on cars nowadays. And definitely having navigation on there as well is really, really good. Having that navigation included is a really, really big bonus. And moving on to the cons of the car, I would probably say the biggest con is not having the Apple CarPlay, and probably some of the other bells and whistles that you get with, let's say, a BMW or an Audi. What is really good as well, it does have wind mirrors, which automatically go in and out when you lock the car, so that's a really nice feature to have. You've got the heated seats as well, which is a really nice feature. But I suppose the only things that you won't get sort of trim lighting. Not all of the bits that you touch are soft touch, so you'll find up on the dash that's soft. Your door sides will be soft, but if you then move to sort of plastic, which is down the side, you then got some hard plastic, so you're not really getting that luxury feel. That's probably what you'd get with sort of an Audi or a BMW.
We've gone through the pros, and there's some pretty good ones in there, to be fair. It's sort of like, to me, it's comfortable, it's quick, it drives well. But yeah, like you said, there's just those subtle differences between the Volkswagen and the Audi. So obviously Audi are owned by Volkswagen, so you're going to get a lot of similarities. There's just those like finer details, I would say, is the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're just like a normal driver and you're not too bothered about the finer detail, like you just said here, the hard plastic and the soft tops, a couple of the other bells and whistles. So like here, yours are sort of dials here, whereas mine have like the actual temperature projected onto them. If you're not into all of that stuff and you just want a car that's going to get you from A to B, they drive fairly similar.
Exactly.
They're both really smooth to drive. So yeah, mine's a little bit sportier, but if you're just talking in terms of smoothness and general driving
and practicality as
well,
within that,
I would say that they're pretty much on par. And if you're looking for miles, definitely obviously a diesel's a better option, and this blows mine out of the water for miles to a tank. So some good positives there. So those were the positives for the Volkswagen Golf. A lot to take in there for a young driver.
Absolutely.
What are your cons? So what do you absolutely hate about the car? What would you have done better if you were a Volkswagen designer?
Oh, that's a very good question. I would be including CarPlay as standard. CarPlay is really, really beneficial, and once you've had a car which has CarPlay in, I've got other friends, I've got family who all have CarPlay in their car, and it's just so easy to use, and it does bring sort of your entertainment to life on the car, which is really, really good.
So what sort of stuff do you get with CarPlay? Like, what comes with it? So obviously you can connect your Apple Music or your Spotify or whatever.
Yeah.
What other benefits does it bring?
So I think with Apple CarPlay, it then also brings in that you've got sort of your phone on like the center screen, so if someone drops you a text message, you've got your text message popping up.
Right.
And you can then reply back with Siri, which is really, really beneficial. Yeah, so just having that up, and then you can have your button to reply with your voice, and you're keeping your hands on the steering wheel all the time. So I think it's just a really, really big benefit to have on the car, and ultimately it's a much more safer option to have as well. Another thing which I would want included on the car is this has just got standard aircon, so you've got a dial which has sort of cold to hot. You have your 6 speeds and your different angles and directions you want the air to be blowing out from. So if you want it on your windscreen, on your back windscreen, if you want it coming towards you, down by your feet, you've got those options. But definitely having climate control would be really, really good. So you've got different temperatures for different sides of the car.
Dual climate system, yeah.
The dual climate system, exactly. So let's say I'm driving on this side and I'm really warm, so I have the aircon on, whereas my passenger in the other side of the car is really, really, or they're really, really cold, and they want their side to be more warmer. That would be a really, really good additional extra to have, but I think you probably can get that if you do upgrade the car, and maybe some newer models as well would include that as standard. So another con which I suppose comes with the car as well is the headlights. The headlights on the car aren't the best. They are, I never really know how to call them. It's like the yellow halogen type bulbs.
Halogen ones, yeah.
Halogen bulbs. So definitely, if they, as standard, would come with the white
LEDs,
white LED lights, that would be really, really good. And I suppose probably another thing would be if you've got sort of kids in the back of your car, there's not USB ports in the back. So that would probably be another really good benefit to have as well, especially if you've got passengers in the back, they can charge their phone. But apart from that, it's a really solid car to drive. It's really smooth, it's really nice to drive, and if you get an opportunity to test drive one, I would say absolutely go for it.
Cool, so now we've gone through the pros and cons of the car itself and how he feels about the car. Let's talk about reliability. How reliable has this car been for you? Because for me, touch wood, I don't think there is any wood, so I'll touch my head. My Audi's had no issues since I've had it. Obviously they're made from the same group, so I'm interested to see what's your reliability been like with this Volkswagen?
So in terms of reliability, I've not really had a single fault with the car. The only thing which really springs to mind is something which would have been my own fault anyway. During lockdown, not driving the car enough, and you go to start it one day and the battery's flat. That's the only real thing which I can think of in terms of a reliability factor. Apart from that, the car's really smooth to drive. It's not going to fail on you. I've never broken down in it, and I've had the car probably 2.5 years now. Yeah, touch wood. But yeah, it's a really, really nice car to drive, and yeah, no concerns with it.
So now that we've spoken a bit about the reliability, we're going to move on to practicality. I want you to put in your own words, how practical has this car been? So have you ever picked up something that's a bit like large or whatever, like a wardrobe or something? How has it been? Like obviously you've got a 5-door as well, which means it's much more practical than my 3-door.
Yeah, so in terms of storage for the car, it's really, really good as well. So you have sort of your glasses up here, you've got sort of side door bins which you can get big bottles of water in. What you can see from over on the side, I've got a big can of de-icer. Glove box, really, really spacious as well. Get your documents in there without a problem. And then yeah, the boot's really big as well, and you've got sort of some under flooring bit in there as well, so it can drop down a level just before you've then got a spare tyre in the boot.
We're at the midway point of the video, so if you are enjoying, please remember to hit that like button down below and leave a comment on your thoughts on the video so far. Which part of the Golf has surprised you the most? You'll be surprised. I was surprised when I looked at the car, so yeah, let me know what you think down below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and ding dong that notification bell to get notified of any future uploads. And why not check out my Instagram? I'll put it on a banner here below. Enjoy the rest of the video. So moving on to the back of the car now, as you can see, 3 adults will struggle to fit in the back of this car. However, 2 adults and 1 children, or 2 adults and a bit of storage, that would be perfectly fine. And in this clip, I'm just showing how much legroom you would have and how much height you'd have on the clearance as well. So another benefit that comes with this car is the parking assist, as I'm demonstrating in this video. So yeah, my initial impressions of the car, very good, you know. I think this is a great budget first car, you know. Obviously if you haven't got like the need for like a sportier car, this is a excellent replacement. Like, it drives fairly similar to one of those cars. Obviously they're built by the same people, so they're going to be like fairly similar. Can't really tell the difference, you know. It's a little bit less sporty, sounds a little bit less sporty. Apart from that, it's mainly just cosmetic, isn't it, the difference? The actual driving itself, there's not too much different. Are you on the same page with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really, really fun, nice car to drive. And yeah, it does have a bit of nip to it as well. Being a 1.6 litre engine, it does have a bit of nip to it. So all in all, it's a really nice car to drive, and I think if you get this as your first car, you're going to have a lot of fun in it. A lot of fun in it.
100%. Yeah, Sam's right. It's actually got a bit of nip to it, you know. Like, he just pulled away there. I'll put the video on the screen now, and my head was going back a little bit, do you know what I'm saying? It's actually really decent. I really enjoy this car. I mean, I know they're made of the Volkswagen Group, and I know I am a very big fanboy of the cars made by the Volkswagen Group. But yeah, for a first car, I think this is absolutely ideal, especially if you're looking for something a little bit bigger than a Polo, less sporty than an Audi. perfect. This is absolutely perfect. So Sam, what plate is your car? So yours is a 2016, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a 2016. It was registered in September. So if you're looking at the plate, it'll be a 66 plate.
Cool. So we've got a 66 plate Golf match. Now, let's talk a bit about cost, because we've said this will be a great alternative for someone that's not looking for all the bells and whistles and not looking for something
Absolutely, yeah.
which just has cosmetic differences. Like it drives similar, it's a little bit slower, does better miles per gallon, so it just depends on the trade-off you want. So we're gonna throw it to the cost now. So how much would this car set you back as a young driver?
Yeah, so if you're looking at this model exactly, you're looking at a Golf TDI 1.6 Match Edition. When I purchased this car, I purchased it in 2019, I think at February of 2019, so the car at this point was about 2.5 years old. I purchased it for around £13,500. If you are looking to buy that in today's market, what you'd be looking at is probably between 9 and 10,000 depending on the mileage, and then breaking that down over a finance agreement. So what I currently do is I put down £3,000 on the car to begin with. That was what my initial deposit was on a PCP finance. And then what I do is I pay about 150 a month for the car thereafter, including insurance on it as well. As a young driver, you're probably going to be looking at about £100 a month in your insurance if you pay for it monthly as well. So all in all, if you're earning a bit of an income, about £250 altogether for your car, excluding the fuel you're going to put in, I think is a really, really good budget for a starter car.
Pre-COVID, you were doing quite a few miles to work and back. How much would you say you spent on fuel a month?
So in terms of how much I probably spent on fuel a month, this is going back before COVID. So I filled the car up every 2 weeks, and that was including driving about 15 miles a day each way. So 30 miles in total, and I was filling it up every other week, which is really, really good. I was getting about 450 to 500 miles to the tank, which is really good. And for a starter car as well, where you're probably not going to have as much cash to be filling up the car every week, it is good for it to last. And definitely doing sort of short to medium length journeys each day, it's gonna keep within that budget.
How much is the tax for this car each year?
So this one might actually surprise you, given that it is a diesel, but the tax on this car is £0.
£0.
£0.
That's one thing you just have to tell them about, but you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, so all you have to do on a yearly basis, you just renew the tax with the, I think is it the DVLA you do your tax with? Yeah, you renew it with your DVLA, and yeah, £0. So it's not like you're putting your details in or anything to take a payment, you just register it and there you go.
So guys, that will be the end of the video. Thank you so much to Sam for letting me use his car and use his time to go through another one of these young driver reviews. You guys absolutely love them. You smash the like button each time. So if you did enjoy this one, please remember to hit that like button again. It shows me that you are enjoying the content. Also, leave a comment down below. Do you prefer the Golf or do you prefer my Audi just over there? Let me know.
That's the important question, isn't it? That's the important question. Do you prefer the Golf or do you prefer the Audi?
Yeah, that is the important question. We shall see. We'll have it out in the comments below and we'll see what happens. Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for future uploads. Ding dong that notification bell and you'll get a notification every time I post. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. I'll see you guys next week for a new upload. We might have something special in store. Peace.